to my channel. My name is Kim and today I'm bringing you my first update of my rolling physical TBR project. And I want to go on and tell you I have completed out 16 books off of my TBR shelf. I'm very excited about that in the last 3 months. So overall, I know when I did my goals for 2020, I think I said I only had 21 books. But when I moved into this room and redid all of my shelving, I actually had 77 books. It has since grown from that to 83, but then I've read 16 books and I've also DNF/decluttered 16 books as well, so that is leaving me at a total of 51 books left. So going from original 77 to 51, that's not too bad. Remember, I will be getting boxes in. I have 2 book subscription boxes that bring in 4 books every month, but I'm trying to be more conscious of the books that I'm keeping. If I know by the synopsis it's not something that I am really interested in, I'm going to go on and declutter it and move it on out. I may try to read maybe a chapter or 2 just to be on the safe side if it is something that is just not my interest, but then it's going to move out quickly. So I think I'm going to use that for my first impressions videos that I do, just to make sure it's something I want to read or want to go on and get out of my collection. Because I only want to keep books on these shelves if something I'm really and truly into and will probably most likely reread. So anyways, enough of that kind of housekeeping statistics and reasoning and all of that. Let's get into the 16 books that I did actually managed to read. So one of the first books that I did finish out, this was The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring by J.R.R. Tolkien. This was a buddy read, and the only way I get through these is if I listen to them on audio versions, because when I read them it puts me to sleep. But if I listen to it on the way going somewhere and I'm doing other things, I can absorb the book. It holds my interest because I'm doing other things, I'm multitasking. But if it's just something me in a quiet room, his style of writing makes me want to go to sleep. But I love the video productions of them. But they do a lot of changing of the book, from the book to the video productions, that is for sure. The next book that I did finish off my TBR, this is No Exit by Taylor Adams. I really did enjoy this book. I believe I either gave it a 4 or 5 star. It was one of the first thriller books of this year that I have read. It's a thriller / mystery, trying to figure out who kidnapped the girl at this rest stop. A little bit of repetitive stuff went on in it. I did get a little bored with that, but overall it was a great read. I would highly suggest it if you are getting into mysteries and thrillers. On the same line, I was reading this book kind of in conjunction with that one at the same time. This is To Catch a Killer by Cheryl Scarborough. I did enjoy it. It is more of a high school based murder mystery going on. How is she connected to this killer, and all of the different things. I don't want to spoil anything with especially mysteries. It's easy to ruin it for others. So I think I gave it a 4-star rating just because it did keep my interest, but it was very young adult. It's not, I don't know. It's, again, I have trouble with high school age kids, stories that are about that, and that's kind of where this is. It's a very high school juvenile type of mind frame. I think if I was a younger reader reading this, it would be a lot better. It still is good. I liked and enjoyed the twist that did go on in the book. So I think I ended up giving it 4 or 5 stars. But I enjoyed the more college age young adult books better. I am finding that out as I am reading more in the young adult genre or niche. I am finding out where it is that I enjoy my reading the most. I don't know what's going on with my voice. The next one, this is, again, I think they're 17 or 18 years old, but this is not really a high school. It's more of a survivalist style book. I do enjoy it. It's Stone Rider by David Hoffmeyer. It is a great read. It's about them trying to get off planet. They have to do these races in order to get off planet. If they get high enough ranked in it and enough credits, then they could potentially go off planet. It was a good read. There was a really good twist at the end that I was not even in my realm of even thinking about that. And it ended up being that. I was like, wow. So overall, a great read. It is some very gratuitous violence does go on in it. If that kind of turns you off, you may not want it, but I expect it in this type of book because it is an apocalyptic style world that they're having to survive in. So overall, a great read. I would recommend it if you're into the apocalyptic style type of books. Good read. This is hyped up all over YouTube. I believe this was a recommendation from Books and Lala by Kayla. This is Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. It's my first book by this author I have read. Highly enjoyed it. Would recommend it if you're into murder mysteries and thrillers. Both kind of go on in it. I did figure out some things along the way, but not everything. There were twists in it that I was not expecting, which with a thriller is to be expected that there are going to be twists and turns. So yeah, I definitely would recommend it if you're into that style book. This book, love my facial expressions for that one. Hated this book. I did an independent review. This is The Turning, a Story of the Living Dead by Kaylee M. Hudson. Again, I liken this book to the movie Hostel and those style slasher torture films. That is what this book basically ended up being. Yes, it is a zombie style book, but it wasn't so much the zombies, even though they did some incredibly gross stuff. It was the people that I had a huge problem with, because everything basically happened within a week. Like the fall of humanity went down in a week. Like all humanity just was gone. Everyone just turned violent and cruel and horrible. And I think I said even in the review, if I could have given it a 0-star rating, I would have. But I had to give it a star rating, so I gave it a 1. Cannot recommend this book unless you're into really graphic, obscene violence to people. Then this might be up your alley. Not so mine. So no, cannot recommend that book. It's just gross. Gross. But some people, if that's your niche that you like to read, then go for it. Just not at my alley. Again, this is somewhat hyped up on YouTube as well. I think this was also, I saw it on Books and Lala's channel, Kayla's channel. It interested me, so I did decide to pick it up. This is the Illuminae, it's the Illuminae Files, the first book by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I do enjoy this book. I know if you have reading disabilities, it may not be up for your cup of tea. See if you can see it where it jumps on the page like that. This book has more of that than the later books, you know, kind of that style writing. But for the most part, it is more like emails and text style writing. I enjoy it. These are fast reads, at least for me, even though they are over 600 pages, each of the books are. They're still fast reads. This one follows, you're introduced to Katie and Ezra. It's their story where their planet is being attacked and overrun. A bioweapon is set off there, and it's their escape from their planet, trying to survive the bioweapon, what it does to people, all of that. 5-star rating. Highly recommend it if you can get past those few pages that are like that towards the end. It is worth the read. Okay. The next book that was on my TBR is The Dracula and Other Stories. My concentration with this book was the Dracula story. I think I gave it a 4 or 5-star rating. It was not the romance story I was thinking it was going to be. After all of these years, I finally did read it. The story itself is good, but if you're going to read it for a romance story, that's not what that story was about. So overall, enjoyed it. I'm glad I did finally read it, but it's not a romance story. I will tell you that much. Alright, the duology book that I wanted to read was Immunity. This is the sequel to Contagion by Aaron Bowman. I did enjoy this book, but I did not feel that it had enough to do with the contagion element. There was some brutality towards the kids in this book. The contagion did finally come and appear in the last few chapters. Overall, a good story, but not as what I was thinking it was going to be. So, good story, but it could have been better. A Shadow Bright and Burning by Jessica Clues, maybe. This is the first book out of the series. It is a historical book dealing with witchcraft or magic system, dealing with different types of demons. I didn't care for it as much. I think I gave it maybe a 3 or 4 star rating. Just not what I was expecting. It is a historical elements to it. It took a while to get into this book. Overall, okay, worth the read, but I don't know how much I could really recommend it. But still good. It's okay. It was a fine category book, I guess you could say. Alright, this is the second book in the Throne of Glass series, Crown of Midnight. I did really enjoy this book. It's continuing on with her story. What is her name after all of these books? Selena, I think is how you say her name. You follow her more. It's after she's won the tournament. She does become the king's assassin. And you follow her through everything that she has to do to survive this evil king. And the kind of triangular romance that is going on between her, the prince, and the head of the guards. So, did enjoy it. I have the third book, Heir of Fire. I'm looking forward to getting into it as well, either this month or next. So, I'm enjoying that series. Hopefully by the end of the year I will have it completed out. This book, Salvation Station by Catherine Shalech. I've got to do an independent review on this book. I did enjoy it. It is a murder mystery. It starts off with a bang. It's really not a build-up. It just goes immediately, and I kind of enjoy that. Sometimes I can enjoy slow burn starts, but I do also enjoy ones that are kind of no-nonsense, gets right into it, and it takes off. And that's kind of what this one does. So I do want to do an independent review and get all of my thoughts out. Highly recommend it when it does come out. This is an advanced copy, so it comes out later in this month. So, can't wait to do that. So this is One of Us Will Be Dead by Morning by David Moody. This is the author of the Hater series, and it's kind of a spinoff from there. I did enjoy it. Some things were very predictable. I think I would have appreciated this book more had I read the Hater series first, because it doesn't really explain where this deep hatred comes from and why they are being infected with nothing but hate. And all of that. So that kind of was left up in the air. It was never really explained, but it might have been explained in the first series. But would recommend it. It was a good read, and I've had some other thoughts on it, I think, in one of my wrap-up videos. So if I can find that one, I will link it either in the cards or down below. This one, I think I gave like a 2-star rating. I was disappointed in it. This is by Jonathan Mayberry, A Ghost Road Blues. This is the start of a Pine Deep novel series. I had high hopes going into this book, into this series, because I loved his Rotten Ruin series. Definitely an adult series, whereas the Rotten Ruin was a young adult. Didn't care for it. It seemed like it was very repetitive and restarting the story multiple times throughout the actual book. So I didn't care for that. It looked like it was going to be a creature feature style book. Really wasn't doing that. So a lot of disappointments, and I think I talked about this one in a wrap up as well. But it's a very disappointing book. overall. Next to last book, this is Gemina. It's the Illuminati Files #2, again by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This one follows Hannah and Nick. Hannah is the daughter of the Hemdall Space Station commander. Nick Malakova, he is the son of the House of Knives. He is a member of it. His family is into drugs and criminal activity is what his family is about. It's their reputation, very violent reputation. And their task is to save their the wormhole station Hemdall from being overrun and overtaken and everyone killed off. It was a great read. Again, it's set up just like the others. You have normal writing, you have the email style, and there's a little bit of the weird writing on the pages, but overall, a great read. It goes by really, really fast, very involved. It draws you in. Love this book. Definitely a 5-star read. And then I ended up finishing the trilogy out with Obsidio. It's the third out of them. This one follows pretty much all of the survivors, brings back Katie, Ezra, has Hannah and Nick, and then it introduced 2 new characters, Katie's cousin Asha, and then Reese, I believe his name is, and it follows their story of trying to get off planet. They're going back to Katie's original planet of Carenza 4. There are survivors there, but there are also Bitex people have taken over the planet, killing off a lot of people who are not considered essential workers. And it's about how do they rescue the colonists, do they bring down Bitech, and all of that. So again, another 5-star read. I highly recommend it. So again, these are 16 books that I've read in the first 3 months of my project of this year. I'm thinking I'm doing a pretty good job. Again, I'm getting rid of books that I know automatically I have no interest in, and there's no reason to keep them on my TBR if I'm not interested in them. So I have been decluttering this month. I need to do a declutter video. And then I've also made headway with actually reading 16 books off of that original TBR. So it did grow from 21 books is what I thought I had to 77 when I started in January. And it did grow when I had, I think, one used books monthly book box came in. So that was 4 books. And then I've had 3 months of the Bookcase Club, and then I subscribed to my Thrill Club. So that's additional 4 books each of those months. So it has grown. And then I had a book haul in January, my birthday month. So I did whittle down from 83 midway through down to 51 books. So I am making a good progress on that goal, because I think my goal was to get it down to 10 books off of on my physical TBR. So I'm going in the right way. So again, if I can continue making another 16 books off in the next few months, that would be awesome as well. So again, I hope you enjoyed this update. Leave me comments down below of the books that you are interested in reading. If there are books that I've done independent reviews on, I will link them up in the cards or down below as well for you to check out. So until my next video, I hope you guys have a good one. Bye.